The air hung heavy, thick with anticipation. And something else. Something unseen. Passengers shuffled boarding passes, checked their watches, unaware of the darkness gathering just beyond the gate. Flight 392, a routine departure, a destination everyone knew. But this time, something was different. A shift in the atmosphere, a prickle of unease down the spine. This is the story of a disappearance, a mystery that gripped a nation, a flight that never reached its destination, and a truth that remains elusive to this day. The flight crew, seasoned professionals, prepared for another day in the sky. Captain Thompson, a steady hand with years of experience. First Officer Davis, eager and sharp. Their smiles, a mask for the horror to come. Passengers boarded, settling into their seats. Laptops opened, magazines flipped, unaware that this ordinary journey would become anything but. The door closed, a final thud, sealing their fate. The engines roared to life, a familiar symphony of power and purpose. Flight 392 taxied towards the runway, ready to climb into the night sky. But destiny had other plans. Air traffic control made contact. Routine checks. Then, silence. A chilling silence where the pilot's voice should have been. Minutes stretched into an eternity. Tension crackled in the control tower. Ground crew approached the aircraft cautiously. A sense of dread descended upon them. The plane sat eerily still, its windows dark and vacant, like empty eyes staring into the void. The door was opened. And then, the impossible. The cockpit, deserted. The cabin, empty. Passengers, crew gone, vanished without a trace. The plane sat on the tarmac, a steel and aluminum tomb, silent, empty. The air inside felt heavy, oppressive, as if the very oxygen struggled to exist in the presence of such profound wrongness. Food trays lay on seats, some half-eaten, drinks abandoned, newspapers splayed open on laps that were no longer there. The mundanity of everyday life frozen in time, a stark contrast to the horror that had unfolded. Luggage remained in overhead bins, personal items tucked into seat pockets, as if the passengers had simply vanished, vaporized into thin air, leaving behind no struggle, no sign of a fight. A child's toy lay on the floor, a teddy bear, its one good eye staring blankly into nothingness. A chilling reminder that this was not just a missing aircraft, it was a collection of stolen lives, each one a story unfinished. Investigators descended upon the scene, their faces grim, determined to find answers in the silence. Security footage was reviewed, every frame scrutinized, hoping for a clue. A flicker of movement, anything. Passengers boarded one by one. Ordinary people going about their lives. Nothing seemed out of place. No signs of struggle, no indication that anything was amiss. The gate agent closed the door. The jet bridge retracted. The plane was prepped for departure, but somewhere between the tarmac and the runway, something went terribly wrong. The security footage offered no answers, only more questions. Deepening the mystery and amplifying the growing sense of unease. This was no ordinary disappearance. Something else was at play. Air traffic control recordings were analyzed. The pilot's voice calm, professional, then static. An abrupt silence where there should have been words. Communication cut off mid-sentence. Technicians worked feverishly, trying to clean up the audio, isolate any sounds, whispers, disturbances, anything that could provide a clue. But the silence remained unbroken. Rumors began to circulate, whispers of strange transmissions, unexplained interference. Some even spoke of chilling whispers heard in the background, unexplained, unnatural. The lack of evidence only fueled the speculation. Was it a technical malfunction, a hijacking gone wrong, or something far more sinister? The truth, whatever it was, remained elusive, hidden in the silence. The FBI was called in. The investigation intensified. Every inch of the aircraft was examined, dusted for prints, searched for clues. But the plane offered no answers, only more questions. The passengers' belongings were meticulously cataloged, phone records analyzed, social media accounts scrutinized, hoping to find a connection, a motive, anything that could explain their disappearance. Friends and family members were interviewed, their faces etched with worry, desperation clinging to their words. But no one had any information, no reason why their loved ones would vanish without a trace. As days turned into nights, the mystery deepened, the lack of evidence, the silence from the cockpit, the sheer impossibility of it all. It was as if Flight 392 had simply ceased to exist, along with everyone on board. Inside the cabin, a chilling detail sent shivers down the spines of investigators. The door, the main entry point, locked from the inside. It was an impossible scenario. A locked door on an empty plane. No signs of forced entry, no damage to the locking mechanism. It was as if the plane itself had conspired to keep its secrets hidden. How could a crew and passengers vanish from a sealed aircraft? The question hung heavy in the air, as tangible as the scent of jet fuel and fear that permeated the scene. The locked door became a symbol of the baffling mystery that surrounded Flight 392. The investigation intensified. Forensic experts, engineers, and aviation specialists swarmed the aircraft, desperate for answers. But the locked door remained an impenetrable barrier, a silent guardian of a truth too terrible to comprehend. The personal belongings told a story of ordinary lives abruptly interrupted. Books lay open on seats. Half-finished games of cards rested on tray tables. Children's drawings adorned seat pockets. Purses sat open, their contents undisturbed. Wallets, phones, jewelry, all left behind, as if the owners had simply vanished into thin air, taking nothing but their fear. A half-eaten meal sat on a tray table, the food still warm. A cup of coffee, steaming as if freshly poured. These everyday items now held an eerie significance, ghostly reminders of the lives that had been on board. The lack of disturbance was unsettling. No signs of a struggle, no indication of panic. It was as if time had simply stopped for the passengers and crew of Flight 392, leaving behind a tableau of normalcy frozen in the face of the unimaginable. The black boxes were recovered, those unyielding witnesses to the flight's final moments. But their tale was fragmented, incomplete. The cockpit voice recorder filled with routine chatter, then silence. No distress calls, no indication of a struggle. The flight data recorder painted a similarly baffling picture, a normal takeoff, a steady climb, then a sudden deviation from the flight path, a sharp descent, and then nothing. Airport security footage was reviewed, painstakingly, hour after hour. But the plane, it seemed, had vanished into thin air. Cameras captured its arrival, its departure from the gate, but the crucial moments, the moments when the crew disappeared, those were lost to blind spots and faulty equipment. The lack of concrete evidence was maddening. It was as if Flight 392 had slipped through the cracks of reality, leaving behind only whispers and shadows, and a growing sense of dread that the truth, whatever it was, would remain forever out of reach. The airport itself became a crime scene, a fortress under siege by investigators desperate for answers. Every employee questioned, every passenger on connecting flights interviewed, every corner of the vast complex searched and researched. Background checks were conducted, security protocols scrutinized, but no stone unturned revealed a crack in the airport's defenses. No evidence of a breach, no sign of an intruder. The airport's security system, once a source of comfort and control, now seemed woefully inadequate, full of blind spots and vulnerabilities, a chilling realization that even in this age of technology and surveillance, some things could still vanish without a trace. The investigation hit a wall, the locked door, the untouched belongings, the silent black boxes, the impenetrable airport, all pointed to an impossible truth. A truth that defied logic, a truth that whispered of something beyond human comprehension. But amidst the frustration and despair, a glimmer of hope emerged. A discovery, small, seemingly insignificant, but with the potential to unravel the entire mystery. A note, found crumpled on the floor of the cockpit. The writing was frantic, scrawled in haste, as if every second counted, words of fear, of confusion, of a desperate plea for help. The note was unsigned, its author unknown, but its message was clear. Something had happened on board Flight 392. Something terrifying. The discovery of the note sent a collective shiver down the spines of the investigators. It was the first tangible evidence that something was amiss. That the disappearance of Flight 392 was not a random event, but a carefully orchestrated act. Someone, or something, had taken Flight 392. And the truth, whatever it may be, was far more sinister than anyone could have imagined. The note was analyzed. Every crease, every fiber scrutinized under high-powered microscopes. The ink, the paper, the handwriting itself, all subjected to forensic examination. But the note yielded few clues. The handwriting was determined to belong to the co-pilot, First Officer Davis. His normally neat script, now a jumbled mess of frantic strokes, a testament to the terror that must have gripped him in his final moments. Other documents from the cockpit were examined. Flight plans, weather reports, even discarded snack wrappers. Anything that might hold a clue, a hidden message, a cry for help. And then, a breakthrough. On a page torn from the flight manual, seemingly random words were underlined. Words that, when strung together, formed a chilling message. They took control. No escape. The cockpit voice recorder, though silent for the crucial minutes leading up to the plane's disappearance, held other secrets. Anomalies, distortions, whispers at the edge of human hearing. Sound engineers using advanced software isolated these whispers, amplified them, filtered out the white noise of the engines and the static of the recording. What they found sent chills down their spines. Voices, faint, distorted, but undeniably human, whispering in languages that defied translation, chanting in rhythms that felt ancient, unnatural. These were not the voices of the pilots, nor of the passengers. These were voices from somewhere else, somewhere beyond the realm of the known. The plane's autopilot system, recovered from the wreckage, told a story of its own. A story of external interference, of systems overridden, of a force beyond human control. The autopilot, designed to maintain a steady course and altitude, had been engaged during the flight's final moments. But data logs showed a series of erratic commands, inputs that defied logic and the laws of physics. The plane had climbed, dived, banked at impossible angles, maneuvers that would have ripped apart a lesser aircraft, maneuvers that no human pilot could have executed. Something, or someone, had taken control of the aircraft. Something with knowledge of the plane's systems, something with an agenda beyond human comprehension. The airport's security footage, though riddled with blind spots, yielded one final unsettling clue. A glitch. A momentary distortion in the digital recording. A flicker of something impossible. In the briefest of moments, a shadow appeared on the tarmac near the plane. A humanoid shape, shifting and indistinct, visible for a fraction of a second before vanishing as quickly as it appeared. Was it a trick of light, a digital artifact, or something more sinister? A glitch in the matrix. A tear in the fabric of reality. Whatever it was, its appearance coincided with the disappearance of Flight 392, a chilling reminder that some mysteries are not meant to be solved. With each passing day, the mystery of Flight 392 deepened. The lack of concrete answers only fueled speculation, giving rise to a whirlwind of theories, each more outlandish than the last. News outlets clamored for updates. Experts weighed in with conflicting opinions. Online forums buzzed with armchair detectives, each convinced they held the key to the mystery. Theories ranged from the plausible to the absurd. A hijacking gone wrong, a mass suicide pact, a government cover-up, every possibility considered, dissected, and ultimately discarded. But amidst the chaos of speculation, one question lingered. Could there be a simpler, more human explanation? Or did the disappearance of Flight 392 point to something far more sinister? In the absence of facts, whispers of conspiracy took root. Some pointed to the cryptic messages, the whispers from the cockpit, as evidence of a government cover-up, a secret experiment gone wrong, a weaponized technology unleashed. Others focused on the airport's security flaws. Were the blind spots a coincidence, or evidence of an inside job? Had someone or something exploited these vulnerabilities to snatch Flight 392 from beneath the noses of the authorities? The internet became a breeding ground for these theories, each more outlandish than the last. Bloggers connected disparate dots, weaving narratives of government conspiracies, alien abductions, and interdimensional portals. But were these theories anything more than desperate attempts to make sense of the senseless? Or did they hold a grain of truth, a terrifying glimpse into a hidden reality? As the investigation stalled, some turned to the paranormal for answers. The whispers on the cockpit voice recorder, the impossible maneuvers, the shadowy figure on the security footage, all pointed to a force beyond human understanding. Psychic mediums claimed to have contacted the missing passengers, their messages cryptic and chilling. Ghost hunters descended upon the airport, their EMF readers buzzing with unexplained energy. Ancient texts, long dismissed as myth and legend, were re-examined. Stories of vanishing ships, of people snatched from their beds, of entire civilizations disappearing without a trace. Could Flight 392 be another entry in this unsettling chronicle of the unexplained? Was Flight 392 a victim of a supernatural force, a tear in the fabric of reality? Or was the truth, however unsettling, far more grounded in our world? Months turned into years. The investigation, though officially still open, grew cold. The families of the missing were left with unbearable grief and a void of answers. The disappearance of Flight 392 became a chilling reminder of the fragility of life, the limitations of our understanding, a mystery unsolved, a puzzle with missing pieces, the locked door, the cryptic messages, the whispers from the cockpit, the shadowy figure. These clues, once tantalizingly close to revealing the truth, now seemed like taunts from a universe indifferent to our need for answers. The mystery of Flight 392 endures, a chilling testament to the unknown that lurks at the edges of our reality, a reminder that some questions may never have answers. Life, as it always does, went on. The airport, once a scene of chaos and investigation, returned to its bustling routine. Passengers came and went, their thoughts far from the mystery that still clung to the gate where Flight 392 had last departed. But for those who had lost loved ones, the pain remained. The empty chairs at dinner tables, the unanswered questions that echoed in the silence of their grief. The world had moved on, but their own internal clocks seemed frozen, stuck in the moment they had received the news that shattered their world. The disappearance of Flight 392 had cast a long shadow, a shadow of doubt, of fear, of the unknown. It had shaken the very foundations of their reality, leaving them questioning everything they thought they knew about the world and their place in it. Could it happen again? The question lingered in the back of their minds, a constant source of anxiety, every takeoff, every landing, a reminder of the fragility of life, the capricious nature of fate. The world, they realized, was a far less certain place than they had once believed. The mystery of Flight 392 remained unsolved. A cold case, an enigma that defied explanation. The files, filled with dead ends and unanswered questions, gathered dust in some forgotten corner of an FBI archive. But the echoes of that night lingered. Whispers in the wind, shadows that danced at the edge of one's vision, reminders that some mysteries are not meant to be solved. And somewhere out there, in the vast emptiness of the night sky, Flight 392 continued its journey. Its passengers and crew, frozen in time, forever suspended between this world and the next. The truth, whatever it may be, remained elusive, lost in the void. A chilling reminder that some doors are best left unopened.